today.
Yeah, I do want to tell you about this. It is wild. So there's a brand new study out of the UW that even surprised the researchers who did it. They discovered a correlation between getting sick during pregnancy and mental health issues in children. Researchers found that people whose mothers had been hospitalized for any infection had a 79% higher risk of being diagnosed with autism and a 24% increased risk of being diagnosed with depression.
We were quite surprised by the association between infection in pregnancy, depression, and even suicide in the children and adults that had been exposed to infection during pregnancy. That was a complete surprise.
So that was Christina Adams-Waldorf, one of the lead researchers on the study. And again, the results came out today. It looked at hospital data out of Sweden because Sweden keeps such great records. It looked at 1.8 million people from 1973 to 2014, and the age ranged from birth to 41 years old. It is one of the largest studies that has ever been done on children's mental health. And the illnesses that the women had, they range from mild conditions like a bladder infection to something more serious like flu or meningitis. So really at the heart of it, they're saying when women fight off infections, something could be damaging the fetus's brain development, specifically like stem cells in the hippocampus, which are very important for social and emotional control. Researchers say there are things that women can do to reduce their risks. One, for example, go to the doctor for a prenatal visit early in the first trimester. When you go, ask for a urine sample to screen for bacteria. Also get vaccinated, especially the flu vaccine.
Some people are concerned that vaccines can cause autism. We have incredible amount of evidence that that is not true. And in fact, the opposite is true. If a pregnant woman develops influenza virus infection in pregnancy that's severe enough to be hospitalized, this can lead to an increased risk for autism in the child decades after birth.
Decades after birth. So one more detail, I asked if a woman is sick but not hospitalized, does that mean that they're in the clear? The short answer really is no there, because basically that's just the data they have. They have data of women who were hospitalized. They'd have to look at outpatient records to get more details. The bottom line really here is that researchers are saying fetal brain development is very fragile.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, here's what I wonder, because obviously, is it the fighting of the infection, or is it possibly any medication they might be taking to deal with the infection or symptoms?
That's a great question.
It is a great question.
Yeah, and
Well,
go ahead.
I was just thinking, if you get the flu, there's really nothing you can take for it unless you catch it early, right?
But you might take typical over-the-counter stuff to deal with symptoms. And, here's the thing. I remember having a major kidney issue after one child, and they give you this list of medicines you can take. And then they have ones that they say, oh, this is definitely safe. And then they have a bunch of medicines that, well, we're not sure because we don't want to test it on.
Right.
And so I just wonder sometimes, there's a lot of stuff I think they don't know.
That is true. And they did say we have to keep some of it vague because we don't know. There was some research that they mentioned that it could, if a woman is sick, that it could impact the serotonin levels in the placenta, which could have an impact on, on the stem cells within the brain. I mean, there are all kinds of things that are floating out there. They just don't know. But, again, it's just that when the brain is developing inside a fetus, it's very fragile.
I'm sure they'll look into this much deeper. This is the first of its kind. So
Huge study.
thank you.
Yeah.
Do you guys